All right, everyone. Here we are again for episode 2 of IPA, the India, Pakistan, America Peace Plan podcast. It's a lot of P's. And we're here today from 3 different countries. I am Mahanth. I am in Madison, Wisconsin, in the Midwestern part of the United States of America. It is April 2024. We also have Taimur Butt. Taimur, want to tell us where you're coming from?
Yes, I'm in Pakistan. I'm in Karachi, which used to be the capital city once upon a time. Now it's Islamabad. And myself and Mahanth, we are college buddies back in the college days. I was at Georgetown. And this is back in 2001, so a long time ago.
All right, welcome. And then Anup Pai, where are you?
Hi, I'm here from Manali in Himachal Pradesh.
All right, exotic location. What is Himachal Pradesh like?
It's believe it or not, it's 5 degrees outside right now, in the middle of summer or hot summer in the rest of India. It's I can see snow-clad mountains next to me when it's daytime. It's beautiful. I mean, it's just off the Himalayas in the Western Himalaya. There are trees and snow-clad mountains.
Very cool. And I'm looking forward to visiting next time I'm in India. So
we will go together.
We'll go together. All right. So let's get started. Today, I thought we'd talk about something light to start. Cricket. Cricket is something I've played with both of you at different phases of my life. Anup, you and I played in Udupi when I lived at my grandfather's house. There was a big field out front.
Yep.
In Udupi, which has now been taken over by the Konkan railway system. There's no field anymore in Indrali, where that was. Yeah. And that was my introduction to cricket, really, when I was probably 7 years old, 8 years old. You were a little older. And all the kids in the neighborhood would come play. And then all the kids would come to my grandfather's house for water, I remember. And it was a good time. And then Taimur and I played in college. So we were a little better probably by then. And then I later played in a league in New York City, actually, with the hard ball and everything. That was not easy, but it was a lot of fun. We got beaten quite badly. That's what I remember from the New York City Parks League, the Mayor's Cricket Cup, which I helped launch, actually, in New York City, because the New York City Parks Department has a number of cricket fields where all the immigrant groups would play, including a bunch of Pakistani and Indian folks. All right. Cricket. Taimur, if you can start us off, what is the state of Pakistani cricket, including professional leagues, the national team? Who are the hot players right now? What's their, how good are they in the world? Let's assume me and a lot of other folks know very little about the cricket scene in Pakistan. So whatever you want to tell us, we'll believe you.
Okay. Since you're going to believe me, I'll tell you that our team is not bad. Pakistan is a pretty good team. Now, that doesn't mean it's the best team in world cricket right now. That's certainly not the case. I would say Pakistan is probably somewhere in the top 5 teams in the world. Right? I mean, that's a fair assessment, I would say. Right? So you have teams like Australia, you have India, you have England, you have New Zealand, you have Pakistan. These are probably like the top teams. South Africa, of course. So these top 6 teams, and we fall somewhere probably in the second half of this sort of. If you were to rank it, we're probably somewhere between number 3 and number 6, I would say, right? And presently, so in the latter half of that ranking. So yeah, Pakistan cricket obviously is a very, very popular sport in Pakistan, and it's one of the legacies of colonialism, I would say, right? One of the colonial legacies, and it's the same thing for Anup as well. Yeah, he would agree with me that the British gave us a little gift when they partitioned the subcontinent on the map, and that gift is cricket, and we're still busy trying to, become experts in what is a very old, historic, and I guess sort of sport. So it's been, I think, around since somewhere in the 1800s, if I'm not wrong. I think cricket started off in the 1800s. And to your American audience, man, that should be of interest. It's a very old sport. It's been played for a very long, long time. Started off in England. So yeah, and very, like I said, very popular in Pakistan. We have a national team, and then Pakistan also has a very established domestic cricket structure. So it's sort of like your NBA in the US. There's all these states, and every state has its own team, and you have all these different sort of a lot of players, and there's a lot of local interest. It's the same way in Pakistan. So just to give you an idea, we have several local tournaments that go on it's called the first class level, right? So the first class is like basically domestic cricket, which is like league cricket, and then the best of the lot from domestic or league cricket or first class cricket, they then pick, and then they go on and they join the national team. And at the first class level, we've got so Pakistan split into different provinces. So each province has its own sort of system. So there's Punjab, there's Sindh, there's KPK, and then there is Balochistan. These are the main ones. And so each province sort of has its own substructures within the province where they play very competitively, and there's different levels of these leagues as well. So, for example, in Karachi, where I live, you have grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. Which are like layers of sort of, it's based on the level really. And then from that, and there's regional teams, and there's all of that. So there's a lot of different structures. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there's a lot of structures in place. And we also Pakistan developed a okay, so for your audience, again, cricket is played in sort of 2 or 3 different formats. There is the very long format, which is Test cricket, which spans over 5 days. I think most Americans, when I tell them this, they find it absurd. How can you play and compete, for 5 full days?
That's 5 days, right? For one match.
Days. It's 5 full days, right? So
before you have a winner and a loser, it takes 5 days.
It's not 5 days anymore. Matches get over in 3 days these days.
Yeah,
because of various changes that have happened in the game.
Absolutely. And so there's Test cricket, which is 5 days. There's one-day cricket, which is a day long. So it's about 8 hours, or 7 or 8 hours. And then there's T20 cricket. So T20 cricket is 20 overs a side, and that generally lasts about 4 hours. So Pakistan right now is competing at the Test level, at the one-day level internationally, and at the T20 level also internationally. And so these domestic tournaments that I mentioned, they are generally both the 5-day format, Test format, and the one-day format, as well as the T20 format. And Pakistan has recently, like the IPL in India, similar to the IPL in India, the IPL was formed first. Pakistan developed a Pakistan Sports League. It's known as the PSL, and that has been going on for several years now, and it's become very popular here locally. And so, for example, just to give you an idea, there's a Karachi Kings team. It's called Karachi King. There's another team called Lahore Qalandars. There's another one called Islamabad. They have different names. So KPK, and then there's Quetta Gladiators. So each of these different cities from different parts of the country, they have their own team. And it seems to be an ever-growing sort of sport over there. So there's a huge amount of interest, right? There's a lot of sponsorships that go into it. A lot of people play. I play personally myself. We have a team, a bunch of friends. We play on weekends, obviously for fun, casually, but it's just a very, very popular sport over there. So I hope that gives you a good sort of overview, and we can start our conversation from there.
Very cool. I have a question for either of you guys. Do the IPL teams ever play the Pakistani League teams?
It's right now because of whatever reasons, Pakistan players are not playing on Indian soil.
I see.
Yeah, and Indian players are not playing on Pakistani soil.
So what about when they play each other? Haven't they visited each other, the national teams?
It's been tenuous. I mean, in the recent World Cup, which was held in India, the Pakistan team was here,
right,
and played in India in India. But other than that, it's been difficult to host either teams to host each other. There's been tangles, and I don't know the full details, but yeah,
there's been some violence too, I think, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of politics that goes into all of this now, and obviously 2 nation states that are fighting with each other constantly and at odds and don't get along very well, and that translates into both the teams not being able to play each other more often, even though the players themselves are generally quite keen to do so. Like, so very recently, Rohit Sharma, I think this just happened in the last few days. He was giving an interview in one of the international media sort of I think it was either a podcast or a TV channel, and somebody asked him, would you like to play Pakistan? He said, I would love to play Pakistan in a test series overseas. Now, overseas, the reason he said I would like to play Pakistan in a test series overseas is because Pakistan and India, like Anup said, they don't host each other. So, and the reason they don't host each other, it's not political, right? And so the last time I think that India played in Pakistan or Pakistan played in India, a bilateral series it's called, was a long time back. I can't even remember honestly. I think it's probably been a decade or at least, maybe more than that. I can't even recall it.
I can't recall.
And so what happens is that when a big event like the World Cup takes place now, or the Champions Trophy, these are like major world events in the world of cricket. So now it's reached a point where there's always a struggle going on between the two countries. Where is the Pakistan-India match going to take place? And so you'll always have the sort of, the Indian board will generally refuse. They say, we don't want to come to Pakistan. The Pakistan board will generally refuse. They say, we don't want to play in India. And they'll try to find a third venue. So like last time around, I think they ended up playing in Sri Lanka or in Dubai or something, I can't recall. So they find a venue outside the territory, right? So yeah, it's a huge problem. But at the same time, the interesting part is that the Pakistan-India game is a very, very big revenue turner. It's one of the probably one of the most high revenue sporting events in the world today.
It's right? The most. I remember that India-Pakistan match in the World Cup we were talking about had 1.5 billion viewers. This is the largest crazy sporting event ever.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, the size of this Pakistan-India match. And so the amount of money that's involved in these games is just unbelievable. I don't really know how much it is, but I don't would agree. It's unbelievable.
It's an untapped resource for sure. If they kept playing,
absolutely,
that would be a good thing, obviously, and a good thing for both countries, I think. But yeah, who won that match, by the way?
Yeah, and you were asking about the players. So just to give you a brief overview, right now the leading players in Pakistan are Babar Azam. You might have heard of him. He's a batsman. I know you're probably familiar.
Yeah, Babar Azam.
Babar Azam. And there's Rizwan, Mohammad Rizwan, who's a wicket keeper, and he's also a batsman. He's very good. And then we've got a fast bowler by the name of Shaheen Shah Afridi. He's a left-arm fast bowler. He's quite good. And then we've got several other players, but I think I just named probably the top three most recognizable players, currently. And Anup can probably give us some insight about the Indian team.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to
who won that match we're talking about in the World Cup? Who won it?
No, so
India.
Let me just tell you something. Mahan, just to answer that, sorry, but Pakistan has never beaten India in a World Cup match.
Really?
So every time the two countries have played, Pakistan has always lost to India in the World Cup. And that's one of that's something that, it bothers us Pakistanis, to be very honest.
They even make memes and ads and everything when India plays Pakistan that maybe this time Pakistan will win. It's a big rivalry kind of a thing going on.
Yeah.
The World Cups, we beat Pakistan in that World Cup, which Pakistan won, right? 1992. When Imran Khan was the captain.
Yeah, Imran Khan, I remember, was the star of the team back then, right? Before politics and all that. Very interesting. So, Anup, how is the Indian cricket scene? I know about IPL. I've written about it. It seems like it's a multi-billion-dollar, industry now in India, and it's followed the U.S. franchising system quite closely, and they studied the U.S. Leagues, professional leagues. It's become huge now, right? What year is it in now?
It started in 2006, so it must be 18 years now. Close to 17, 18 years. Yeah,
and I know Bangalore has a team, and Bombay, Calcutta.
Bangalore has a team that has never won, and it's the fans have made memes about never winning a IPL trophy. So yeah.
A lot of memes going on in cricket. So Bombay has won a bunch, right?
Bombay has won a bunch. Chennai has won a bunch. Okay. Bangalore has never won. Gujarat has won.
Yeah. And who are the top stars in India right now? And I believe, from what I understand, the stars of Indian cricket are like mega stars in a way that it's hard for Westerners to even understand, right? They're basically gods, right?
So Virat Kohli, who used to be the captain and now the most popular player, he's married to a star actress. So they're star couple, have
Who's the
many
actress?
million followers on Instagram.
The actress is, sorry to interject, the actress is Anushka Sharma, man.
Okay.
Anushka
Sharma. I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah,
Anushka Sharma. I know more about the Indian cricket team than Anup Pai.
So celebrities marrying celebrities, good for them. Yeah. So Virat Kohli is like #1, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are many of them. All of them are stars. I mean, they're all yeah. It's a big money game now, and all of these guys are superstars.
Right on. And when is the next World Cup?
It'll be 2027.
Okay. So it's every 5 years, is that correct?
4 years. 4 years.
4 years. Okay. All right. So that's a big year coming up, and maybe Pakistan will get another chance at India. That one. Where is that going to be?
I have no idea. Maybe Australia. I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure, actually. I can't recall. I think it might be the US, is it?
Oh, yeah, it could be. It is a US. It is in the US.
That will be a lot of fun. Maybe we should all go in 2027.
I'm not too sure what it is, actually.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, too.
I thought I heard the US was in the running. I'm not sure if the US ended up getting it, but obviously US has great athletic facilities and a lot of immigrants from all over the world who would fill the stands, I'm sure. So let's plan to maybe meet at that World Cup. All right, let's move on to something else going on. I wanted to talk about the Indian elections, which are starting very soon. Anup, can you give us
started already?
People
started already. Started already.
Have you voted, Anup?
No, my constituency will vote on 26th.
Okay.
And as usual, I will not vote. I've not voted in my life, and I don't intend to vote anytime soon. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go there and cast a vote for somebody that, I mean, I don't believe in the system itself. So I mean, I mean the candidates, and I'll work with anybody that gets elected. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean.
So you're just going to let the people decide, and you'll work with
and then
the government, whoever it is. You're not. So you're not a party affiliate. You're not affiliated with any particular party. Understood. No. Understood. So tell us a little bit of an update on what's going on in that election.
So the BJP is going for a majority of 75% or more in the House. That's their goal. That amounts to about 400 seats in Parliament, in a 530 seat Parliament. They seem very confident that they will be able to do it. The elections have already started. The mood on the ground is very, very split. Modi supporters are very confident that it's going to be 400. It's going to be a thumping majority. Whereas there are some people these days that are getting a little bit more skeptical about the result. Either ways, it's very difficult to tell. I mean, even I can't tell this time. I mean, it's very, very difficult. Yeah, I mean, we'll go through the whole process. There is massive campaigning that's going on. Modi is on the road pretty much all the time. He is giving speeches in pretty much all parts of India. This election is about Modi. I mean, BJP has made it about Modi, and the opposition has basically said anybody but Modi, right? So yeah, it's
so Modi is in his 10th year in power. I think it was 2014 that he started. It's looking good for him from what you described. It's a matter of how big the victory will be if we're correct about the polling and the numbers and the data. Is that accurate?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, that's more or less, that summarizes it. Yeah.
and Modi can expect to win when this is all said and done. Although some of the other seats are still in question, right?
Yeah, Modi should win. I mean, should win with a decent majority, if not a thumping one.
Okay, good to know. So to make this interesting, I'd like to move over to Taimur and ask, what are the media in Pakistan and the people you know in Pakistan talking about when it comes to the India election? And do people in Pakistan feel that it affects them? This outcome will affect you as a neighbor. And
Mahanth, you might find it a little surprising, but and I think this might be, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be a misconception that people in India have about our media and what our masses generally and the people generally think about when the elections happen in India. You'd be surprised, but over here, literally no one talks about the Indian election.
Really?
Nobody. And it's not even a topic that is discussed, right? So there is zero coverage of what's happening in India here in Pakistan on our media. Like literally, it's not even even a little bit. So you might find, one odd ticker running at some point in time on some channel, and that's really about it. Beyond that, there is no programs covering anything that's happening in India, whether it's the election or the economy or whatever it is. There's hardly anything. And so, yeah, that might be, it might be a surprise to you. I don't know if it is or isn't, but that's generally how it is. On from that, in general, I can give you the perception that people have of Modi, and I can give you the perception that people have of because of course people are aware of Modi. The perception of Modi, as far as Pakistanis are concerned, is not a very good one, and the reason is quite obvious. Pakistan is a Muslim country, and Modi's past it seems to have been linked to anti-Muslim, activities. And now, whether I don't know the exact details of those activities, but people do generally link Modi up to his anti-Muslim sort of stance. And so, from that point of view, people have a fairly strong opinion. They're not too fond of Modi, as a politician and as a statesman. They feel that he stands against Muslims. So that's just about summarizing.
Yeah, a couple of quick questions on this. So you mentioned that Pakistanis in general do not follow the Indian elections too closely. Has that always been the case, or is that related to just this year?
That's always been the case. I don't think that India has ever really been covered here in media, and I think maybe one of the reasons could be that I don't know. Pakistan's always been a state where the military has been very, very dominant, and maybe any too much information about India, generally you just don't find it on TV channels, right? So I don't know why it is really, and that's just my theory. I could be right or wrong, but the fact of the matter is that there's hardly ever any coverage of what's happening.
Very interesting. I did not know that.
We find out about India through the internet. We find out, through the movie. We find out maybe through watching maybe a CNN. Like if you watch CNN, if you're getting CNN, if you're getting like BBC or something. We might actually find out more through BBC than we would find out through any of our local news channels.
Very interesting. And then second question, does the view of Modi that Pakistanis have about his anti-Muslim potential policies or actions, does that extend to the opposition parties of India, or is it just more centered around Modi and the BJP party he represents?
Yeah, so I think,
do you think that about all of Indians' parties?
So I think that Modi is viewed as particularly anti-Muslim. All right, he's viewed as definitely viewed as particularly anti-Muslim. The other parties like the Congress, like all of those guys, people don't really have too much of an opinion about them. I think they just sort of like, okay, whatever, they're there, they couldn't be bothered. But I think it's more just this anti-Modi sentiment because of his anti-Muslim stance that bothers people. So they have more of an opinion. People don't have much of an opinion about Rahul Gandhi and the Congress and the other people. I'm not too much.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you for that perspective. So Anup, over to you. We'll wrap up soon. Just wanted to have some closing thoughts around this election, which we will keep talking about, hopefully. It's unfolding as we speak. People have already voted. Anup, although you, Anup, don't vote, I would encourage you to vote, to have a voice in the democracy and the biggest election of all time in history. It would be weird if you weren't participating, but I guess I understand.
No, my decision to not vote is a little bit more complicated than I can explain in a podcast.
I understand.
And so, look, I mean, this election is huge for India, and it's basically about continuation of policies and so on that Modi has implemented. All said and done, I think there is a feeling, at least I have, that Modi is playing for India. Although his anti-Muslim stance, and he's tempered it a little bit, but it comes from his deep background with the RSS and so on, and that's a stance that they've held, that the region is a divided region, and they need to be staunch for them to be able to protect themselves. But yeah, all those are ideological issues that exist. But from a project implementation standpoint, he's done well, and he's geopolitically done exceedingly well. I think the fact that Modi is getting a seat at the table, or India is getting a seat at the table for important decisions now, including now this Iran-Israel standoff, could be something. I mean, if it was anything else, if it was Manmohan Singh, I don't think this would have happened, right? I mean, it's his targeted geopolitical foreign policy that he's worked on, including setting up the stage for the G20, getting Africa involved. Him as a statesman, he's been building that position. So I think India stands to benefit from Modi coming to power again. There is weakness in overall the democratic system because the opposition is quite weak. But that's an opportunity also for new opposition to come up, and for the current dynastic politics to kind of come to an end, because every other party is a son of a leader controlling the politics and the coffers of that party. And the BJP, all said and done, is an organization which is beyond an individual.
That's correct, Anup. So maybe even if you don't vote, maybe you should run for office sometime. And we should
So
talk.
The first vote that I'll cast is when I am on the ballot.
For yourself. We'll talk about that in the future. All right, we've gone a little bit over the time we talked about, but this was a great discussion. I hope we'll keep doing this. I know it's nighttime for you guys. I hope you have a good night, and we will talk again soon. Take care, everyone.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, hold up.